It was my birthday yesterday. I've had a lovely, lovely time, and there was a beautiful, if you haven't seen it, by the way, beautiful sort of collage of opinions and messages given to me by Charlotte yesterday. She put this really amazing thing together with all of my friends and people that come on the show on a regular basis, including the one and only Mr. Jeff Banks. Jeff, very good morning to you. Thank you. That was such a lovely message you gave me.
It was amazing, wasn't it, what Charlotte pulled together?
What she put together was fantastic.
I mean, how long it took her, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, and of course, I was telling Pooch, as a complete numpty, I put it on in the morning, and it sort of started with Jacob Rees-Mogg. Yeah. And I thought, this is amazing. I thought it was AI. I was going, this can't be real. And then it was only about half a day later when one of my sons woke up and I said, you want to watch this? That I realised there was a whole 8 minutes of it that I hadn't even seen, which included what you'd said. So yeah, thank you, Charlotte. It's very kind. And you might have noticed I'm wearing one of those lovely ties that you sent me, which we love, by the way. I wear them a lot. I opened the box and I thought, this is fantastic. And people love them. They really think it's actually lifted the show.
Yeah.
They do, because we used to wear flowery ties much.
No, well, I've been following it constantly, seeing that you've actually
I love them.
utilised the wardrobe.
I have. I think I've worn every single one now, at least once. So yeah, brilliant. And I started the show this morning with a blue tie, and I switched it as you were coming into this one because there was a blue theme this morning. Emma was wearing a blue dress, so we decided to coordinate. But anyway, how are you?
I'm very well indeed. Yeah.
Looking forward to Andy Burnham's cost of living tour. Is he booked in with the Jeff Banks studio to see how you guys are getting on?
Absolute joke, isn't it?
I know.
I mean, I just can't believe. Obviously, it's going to be staged. Whoever he's going to actually be speaking to.
Of course he is. Oh, no, I said to Pooch, the idea that he's not going to walk into somebody's house randomly, is he? In case they turn out like that bloke in Bath, the publican. You get out of my pub, don't want you here, because you can't risk that as you're a politician. So they're going to have to vet everyone. Yeah. So every place they go, there'll be somebody in there, with a clipboard saying, "What do you think about it? Can you say this?" And you say, I mean, it's just cobblers, isn't it?
Yeah, it's absolute complete another waste of time.
Yeah,
and it's just indicative that somehow, and I don't know how it worked, that somehow the Labour Party, the penny dropped that Keir Starmer was no good.
Yes,
and was a liability. So somebody kind of fished around and sort of thought, well, who actually would be an acceptable face? Let's dig him out of the past.
And they couldn't find one.
Couldn't find anybody.
Right.
So Andy Capp has now come in.
King of Tit North, right, as we call him.
And it's like, and his action I've got a lot of friends in Manchester and Leeds and up to Newcastle and in Scotland.
Right.
And they actually find it insulting.
Yeah, they do.
That he's referred to in the way that he is. And it's actually demeaning to people in all of those great cities in the north. To have this man.
Well, I've said to people on a regular basis, and people say, for example, in Leeds, have said things like, what makes him think that Manchester's the north? Why exactly is Manchester now the centre of the universe? Why would they know more about Leeds than people in London do? Because they don't. Or Newcastle.
That's right.
Or Carlisle.
Yeah.
These are all different cities with different things going on. Why is Manchester suddenly the only place that it matters? It's ridiculous. I was up there, funnily enough, picking up my son just last weekend before this, because he's done his 3 years up there, and I drove through Salford. My God, the place looks like a bomb's hit it, right? Yeah. It is completely, there's derelict streets, derelict shops, there's a huge prison there, there's deserted, there's nobody walking around, there's no activity, there's nothing happening.
Yeah.
And that is not what I would call, and people started having a go at me saying, why have you come to Manchester to have a go? And I said, I'm not having a go, but don't make out that it's this kind of nirvana that's better than everywhere else, because it isn't.
Well, the Whittaker family that own Peer Holdings that actually built Media City there, they actually did their best to kind of bring something to Salford.
Right.
But at the end of the day, all of the planning restrictions that actually went on, which the local council imposed, made them abandon the scheme. So they actually built Media City.
Right.
And they could have done a lot more. They have the resource to do it.
Yeah.
But they've actually kind of now walked away. And as you say, it's like,
Well, Media City's like a ghost town. I did a show once at the Lowry Theatre, which is a lovely place, and next door to the Lowry Hotel, and it all looks nice, but there's nobody there, and you walk around and you kind of go, where's all the people? I say it's like Canary Wharf without the people. I mean, Canary Wharf's a bit soulless, but at least it's quite busy.
Yeah.
And there's shops there and there's things where people can go But I mean, funnily enough, we had to go to Media City because he had to drop his keys off for the thieves that had rented him this space for 3 years, you know, who make you, by the way, rent the space in September and then keep it till August,
right?
Even though they know that you're graduating in May. So you have to pay like an extra 3 months rent because that's the only way they'll rent you the place, right? And we had to go to Media City to have the keys back. And it was like a ghost town. Saturday, about midday, nobody there.
Yeah.
So where's the so-called growth in every postcode?
Yeah.
Hey?
So I just think this whole, you know, tour of Britain is going to be just another waste of time, a waste of energy, instead of actually...
And a waste of money, more importantly.
Yeah, and concentrating on the things that actually matter.
Yeah.
You know, to turn up at some guy's place and actually say, well, what do you think I should do with taxpayers' money? And, you know, they're supposed to be the specialists and supposed to be running a government that will have people in place that actually know what they're doing and are able to predict the movement of everything. So to just start asking people in the street, what do you think? It's obviously a complete charade.
Well, I used to say this when I was at talk. You know, there's nothing worse than when you listen to a radio show and you get the host of the radio show saying to people something like, you know, what would you do to fix the economy, right? And you go, well, I don't know. Nobody knows how to fix the economy. You're just working for for a living. You know, if you ask them what's their favourite, you know, boot polish, they can give you an answer. But you can't you can't go up to somebody in the street in Salford and go, what would you do to fix the economy? What's the point? But I mean, the only thing we do know about what they've done is they've started up this number 10 North, and we found out at the weekend that the guy who runs it lives in North London.
That's right,
lives in Islington, right? And gets on a train every Monday, goes and stays in a very nice luxury hotel, thank you very much, on our coin, and it's got a nice 23rd floor bar, it's got a nice swimming pool, and then he comes back on Friday, having done absolutely the square root bugger all, apart from spend a load of our money.
Do you know, it has smacks to me of the European Union.
Yes,
yes,
you know, very true.
When Brussels, the French would only accept a deal when the EU was formed if once a month any vote that was taken in the EU had to be done in Strasbourg.
That's right. They used to have to get a train, didn't they?
Yeah, so they then built a building in Strasbourg which cost 29 million euros.
Yeah.
So for 2 days a month, the whole of the EU went by train and actually was like hotels, expenses. Costs an absolute fortune for 2 days a month. And this kind of number 10 North has got a smack of that to me.
Yeah,
so
no, you're absolutely right.
What are they going to do up there that they couldn't do in Westminster?
Well, they had a ridiculous moment. I think it was a guy called Dan Tomlinson, who's the MP for Barnet or something, somewhere in North London. And he's up there. And you're going, well, what are you doing in Manchester? And he's going, it's great spending the day in Manchester, number 10 North. Well, hang on, your constituency is in London, mate. What are you doing up there? What is the bloody point, you know? Absolutely ridiculous, absolutely utterly mad. And all the papers this morning have got a variety of different stories about the judicial system, prisoners, criminals. You know, we've got the Mail saying basically this new plan to let go of sex offenders, robbers, arsonists. 90,000 more crimes will be committed when they start letting these people out. We've got, on the Times, Andy Burnham apparently cannot stop the release of these two scumbags that killed the police officer, Andrew Harper. So they're going to be coming out, despite the fact that he said he would stop it. Apparently he's got no ability to do that. And then these characters, you know, these three Al-Qaeda members, Wahid Zaman, Arafat Wahid Khan and Ibrahim Savant, all from London, by the way. All from
East London.
Yeah, all from East London. Apparently they're going to be out for Christmas.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So,
Trebles all round. I know they don't drink, so.
When you actually...
But it's a joke, isn't it?
But when you actually consider those three individuals, how, because they were actually developing liquid bombs in bottles, changed the whole face of travel globally. Yeah. That all of the restrictions that we now have to face going through...
Very good point.
All of that, these three guys are responsible for.
Yes.
Cost, just not in human time, but airlines everywhere, an absolute fortune. Yeah. Made travel just ludicrous.
Impossible,
these days. And all down to and now they could be out by Christmas.
Yeah.
And don't tell me that they...
And they were sentenced to life in prison in 2010, right?
Yeah.
That means they've only been in 16 years.
Yeah. And when you actually think, what have they been doing while they've been in, Nick?
Yeah.
Actually plotting, planning.
No doubt.
The resentment's growing.
Yeah.
You let these people out, and it's actually going to be 10 times worse than before they actually went
And then
in.
we'll be told lessons will be learned, won't
Yeah.
we? We'll be told, oh, well, maybe we shouldn't have let them out. Well, maybe don't let them out then. You know, it's just like, it's not
right.
rocket science, is it?
Yeah.
It's absolutely incredible the way that with this country, and as I say, we watched already a couple of videos this morning from the boats coming across from Calais. Throwing babies into dinghies now. A couple of young kids, about 4, being chucked on the floor of a dinghy. I mean, it's disgusting the way these people are treating their own kids.
Yeah.
And yet, all of those people that we've seen on the boat coming over will probably all be now walking down Streatham High Street.
Yeah.
You know? Going, oh, great, welcome to London.
Do you know the other amazing thing in the paper today? I think there was something about the life jackets.
Yes.
The sports company in Calais.
Yeah, over in France, yeah.
Yeah, is now actually selling like bag loads of them. And
mass producing them.
yeah, why is it that the police can't actually follow who it is that's buying them, where they're going for, because they're going by the sackload.
Right.
You know, anything between 25 euros and 90 euros a pop.
Yeah.
And the people that are actually buying them are obviously part of the gangs that are like monitoring these people that are coming.
Yeah, they're probably handing them out to these migrants going, that's £1,000 for you.
Yeah.
You know, that's £1,000 you owe me. So when you get to London, you have to carry £1,000 worth of drugs to get to wherever it is. I mean, it's absolutely shocking. Oh, is she? Oh, great. Should we quickly mention the poll before we do anything else? Because this was sort of from a conversation Pooch and I had this morning. Things that you don't see anymore. I mean, and I don't want it to turn into a kind of ecosystem argument, but silverfish, right, for example, that we used to see all the time.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I haven't seen one for a while. Stag beetles is another one, right?
I don't see those.
I haven't seen a stag beetle for a long time. Cabbage white butterflies, I do see. We see a lot of them in my garden in Sussex, actually. Hedgehogs.
Yes.
You don't see hedgehogs much anymore, do you?
Not a lot, no.
37% of you think hedgehogs are the things you don't see. So anyway, we'll be talking about things that you don't see, things that you do, things that you see all the time now, like migrants running around, and people demonstrating at Marble Arch and beating their chests. Yeah, that's all a bit mad.
Yeah.
Stay with us, Jeff, if you will. Jeff Banks is here to talk about a great many things, and we've got lots to talk about with him. But Kinsey Schofield joins me now from the glorious, glamorous Hollywood, as you can see the sign behind it. Kinsey, very good morning to you.
I see silverfish everywhere, and it stresses me out that they're going to eat my clothing.
Oh, really? I used to have moths, you know, that did that. I had a whole series of cashmere. My sister used to buy me a cashmere sweater for every Christmas, right? And so I had about 20 of them, and I put them in the wardrobe. And one day I went in to get one of them out, and it had all these holes in it. And I had moths that only ate cashmere. They didn't eat anything else. They were cashmere-only moths.
Bougie moths.
I had the bougie moths. I know, it was shocking, absolutely shocking. Listen, I must thank you for your part in that amazing video that Charlotte put together. Very funny. You might have noticed, I don't know if you noticed it, Pooch, did you look all the way through it?
Yeah, of course I did.
The Christo bit.
Yeah, I know.
Right? I mean,
I averted my gaze.
Christo did a kind of Hugh Edwards on me.
Yeah.
Luckily, it was covered up. Kinsey apologised for not doing the same, and I said, well, you know, it would have been nice, but it's okay. I'll let you off this time. Yeah, it was a proper birthday. Yeah, exactly right. Anyway, how are you?
I'm great. Yeah, I said I did not realize it was pants optional. For next year, I'll keep it in mind.
Will be. But listen, I've seen a lot of stories about Meghan this weekend. Lots of stories of her standing in lines, one being ignored, 2 walking back across to meet some other people that she missed. She seems to be making a bit of a hash of her image at the moment.
You know, it's very interesting because she disappeared almost completely during the Prince Harry's Daily Mail fail. And, you know, our mutual friend, Robert Jobson, actually shocked me last week when he predicts that King Charles will actually bail Prince Harry out when it comes to what ultimately is determined what Prince Harry is going to owe the Daily Mail for these court costs, which we actually should find out within the next week or so what that ultimately will be, what those costs will be. And Jobson said, I think that King Charles will financially bail Harry out under the radar just to make this go away and just to make Harry's life easier, which our audience, your audience, my audience, I think would be absolutely livid if King Charles does that. But you notice when Harry isn't winning, Meghan Markle seems to disappear. She's never by his side. But here they are invited to a swanky charity event in Canada, thanks to one of her friends from high school. It's David Foster's charity event. He's married to Catherine. I'm spacing, her last name is technically Foster, but she is an American Idol and an actress who Meghan Markle went to school with. And so they were seen over the weekend at this high profile event for the David Foster Foundation, which has raised millions of dollars. To be fair, this is a great organization. They cover a variety of non-medical expenses for roughly 1,600 Canadian families with children in need of life-saving organ transplants, and they help like 100 families a year. If you and I, if that's all we would have seen, we would have been like, that's great. Harry and Meghan continue to show up and do good work. However, Meghan goes and posts this behind the scenes, very bizarre video where her own private paparazzi's trailing her through hallways, and just the look at me videos that she posts, it negates any sort of goodwill that they're trying to do. And so I do think we are seeing a lot of her. Of course, we see her when there's a red carpet or there's an opportunity for her to have her photo taken. And I think it feels a little bit more in our face than it normally does, because she'd briefly disappeared throughout that very uncomfortable few weeks where Harry looked and felt probably pretty defeated because of the Daily Mail drama.
Other footage of her dancing around with the dogs and the kind of, it's just so cringy. You just think, why would you even do that? And it's not like she needs to do it. You know what I'm slightly worried about? There's a story this morning in one of the papers saying that Gary Lineker is thinking of branching out into television because, his podcast company is actually doing really rather well. He's actually managed to get that working pretty well. And my sort of nightmare scenario is that Meghan finds out that, the coming kind of guy who's left-wing enough to sort of embrace Harry because they love each other and they're all playing from the same hymn sheet, that they somehow get a show, because he's talking about doing a cooking show, believe it or not, with Jamie Oliver. And I could just see this horrible kind of, coagulation of Harry and Gary Lineker somehow getting together.
Oh my gosh, two of the worst people in the world, right? I mean, I could reference a Nazi costume right now, but I'll behave myself because this is a family show.
Yeah.
But
and
yeah,
they could both sit there and talk about the genocide in Gaza as well while they're cooking some spaghetti, right?
exactly. That's literally all you would be looking at. But yeah, I thought we were beyond her dancing birthday video. You're absolutely right to reference that. We're seeing a lot of her right now. And ultimately, even with the MasterChef Australia appearance, I think what she's trying to do is just change public perception. She has earned a reputation, in my opinion, based and due to her own behavior. She's earned a reputation for being difficult to work with, a bully. And now I think she is definitely just overacting whenever we see her, whether she's trying to look playful in the kitchen and she's dancing around the kitchen or putting party hats on dogs, or even the way she's aggressively manhandling David Foster on a red carpet and laughing hysterically at something Harry says to ensure that the cameras capture that moment. It just feels like she's so desperate to change the narrative here. And the biggest mistake of their lives was that Oprah Winfrey interview. First impressions matter, and I think for a lot of us, that was our first impression of Meghan Markle, and we'll never forget how bitter, mean, and angry she seemed throughout that Oprah Winfrey interview. So we're not buying Little Miss, kitchen, barefoot in the kitchen, twirling around in the kitchen and smiling for the Sick Children in Canada charity event. Mike, I think I've lost you. There you are.
Oh, there I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that I always think about when I see those ridiculous videos is, what does she do for the rest of the day? She's spent, probably 6 hours editing it and then posing in the right way and shoot. Can you imagine? I imagine she takes about 7 or 8 attempts to get it right. What does she do for the rest of the day?
Well, you're right. That's like take number 64, you know? Well, it's my understanding that she has hi, Lady K. It's my understanding that Meghan has multiple nannies and her children are of age to where they would be in preschool, they would be in school. So she's got all day. And where is Meet Me at the Lake? There are multiple projects that Netflix has teased, and well, that Harry and Meghan's teams have leaked and Netflix have confirmed. There's Meet Me at the Lake. There's a scripted polo show that's supposed to be produced by the same people that produced The OC, which I don't understand why Netflix would pursue something like that when Harry's reality polo show performed so poorly. The Wedding Date is a romantic comedy that's supposed to be produced by Harry and Meghan. That has yet to come to fruition. They've claimed that they're going to produce a movie about Afghanistan that's based on a book. So we're patiently waiting for any of those projects to actually happen. Meghan has completely abandoned her Limonada relationship, which was Confessions of a Female Founder. They even at one point teased Archetype season 2. That hasn't happened. I guess she's got a new raspberry fruit spread, but that shouldn't take, months to execute. I mean, I don't. To your point, I don't know what she does.
And when are we going to see him? I mean, we saw that story a couple of weeks ago that he wants Charles supposedly to come and join him at the Invictus Games, so that will be the sort of the first official proper reunion. That's a long way off, though, isn't it?
And what are the odds that that will actually happen? I think that would really upset people because it would give Harry credibility. And hello, man from Kurnow. It would give Harry credibility, and it would also make it would almost dismiss Harry's behavior because Harry has yet to apologize to not only the royal family but the United Kingdom. Harry, I think, should apologize to the United Kingdom for the Netflix docuseries, which accuses the UK of racism and some other things. So I don't actually know if we would see that actually happen, but he is going to be there in September for the Well Child Awards.
Yes. Oh, good. Well, we can look forward to that. We seem to have lost the screen there for a second. Kinsey, I'm going to say cheerio. Thank you very much indeed. We've got some brand new equipment going on here, so we're finding our way through. See you soon. Have a lovely, lovely week. Kinsey Schofield, what a great woman she is, and so beautifully turned out. I think possibly our most elegant guest, apart from Jeff Banks, obviously.
Mick's got a question.
See, it's Kinsey single, I'm available. Mick, I think she is actually single. I'll pass on your felicitations, Mick. Maybe a CV would be in order.
A CV.
Don't make any false claims though, because we'll check them out for you. But no,
she is very easy on the eye.
She's very easy on the eye,
and
she's a lovely young woman as well.
Amazingly perceptive.
Yeah,
with a kind of like wonderful temperament.
Yes,
where she actually addresses everything. In a very kind of moderate manner.
Very moderate manner, but also quite understated. I think because she spent a lot of time in the UK as well, she's picked up on our kind of slightly more subtle approach to things. Because you have to say that there's a lot of American commentators who are not, they're kind of down your throat going, like, I'll tell you why you're. But she's right,
aren't
isn't
you
she?
Meghan and Harry and Harry thing?
I am.
It's like...
I am. They keep presenting themselves in front of me, so it's not like I'm deliberately seeking them out, but everywhere you look, there's something going on. And here's Meghan, showing what a great time she's having with her kids and her dogs, and it's like, I don't care. I'm not interested.
It's just smacks.
Put it away.
Absolute desperation.
Yeah. Well, I think the problem is for them, even though he's got a bucket load of money that his mother left him, which he never talks about. Remember when he said his father cut him off? And it's like, hang on a minute, son. He's giving you $5 million a year, plus you've got about a £40 million war chest that your mother left you, and he's claiming that he's Barasic, right? But I think they need a lot of money because I think she looks like one of those women who costs a lot, right? She's not. She's expensive, right? And she always wants what she doesn't have, right?
Yeah.
So if George Clooney's got a private jet, she wants a private jet. It's not enough to have a nice Bentley in the garage. She needs to have a Lamborghini as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know the kind of person I'm talking about. That's what I think she's like. So he's handcuffed to this woman for the rest of his life, and he's gonna be grifting forever.
Well. Again, other cracks beginning to show. Is it going to be for the rest of his life? Because again, the rumour is that all's not well in the household there. So I wouldn't know that. But I actually think, first of all, the number that Harry's mother left was apparently about 21 to 25 million, which apparently they've chewed through that. Certainly, will the king step in and bail him out of this 47
like
million?
Kinsey said, I don't think he should. Should he?
I think secretly, we just don't know how much money the Duchy of Cornwall actually owes. What's the scale of it? How much money is there tucked away? It surprised me to find out that the Queen had actually bailed Prince Andrew out secretly. So 7.5 million suddenly popped up there.
Yeah.
That actually.
I don't think there's any doubt. There's quite a few hundred million swilling around in the
sloshing
background.
around somewhere.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Because they've had it for centuries, haven't they?
So if Charles decided it's better to actually like pay off the 48 million in legal costs, help him out with that so that goes away, and doesn't bring even more discredit to the crown, probably would step in and do it quietly, secretly. We'll never know about it.
Do you think that's because Dame Elton has not come up with the goods then? Do you think Elton's gone, sorry mate, you're on your own here? Because it's because the whole thing was ridiculous. You know, the trouble with Harry is he's not very bright, and he was clearly convinced by that rather flash lawyer, Sherborne, who kept going, don't worry, we'll just keep going with the court case, keep loading me up with money every 15 minutes. That's another 1,000 quid.
I wonder what his bill was like.
Oh my God. Well, that's the thing, and you know as well as I do. I mean, these lawyers don't come cheap. You get involved in anything. Once it goes to court, you're spending minimum 100,000 a week or something like that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And he should never have brought the case because he didn't have any grounds for it.
Yeah. So again, not the brightest guy in the book, and I'm afraid actually has been misguided. And a lot of the things that he's actually doing now are really not doing him or the royal family any favour. So I'm just tired of it. I think I wish they'd actually just go away to California, do what they said, privacy, be quiet,
and if they actually really
enjoy
want,
their life.
And if they really want to, the only place where he's trying to sort of supposedly help people is that Centre Bali charity in Africa, which is all blown up in his face because of the way they behaved. Because they didn't actually care about helping anyone; they just wanted another photo op. You know, here's me with some hungry-looking children. Oh, great! Where are you going now? I'm getting back into the Range Rover, back on the private plane, and back to California.
And all the people that they seem to get involved in have got questionable backgrounds. So they're not very well advised at all.
They're really not. No. But that's because every time they get an advisor that tells them what they should be doing, they get rid of them.
Yeah.
Because they go, I don't fancy that advice. No, I'd like to continue to be a know-nothing grifter where I'm just getting my face on the cover of People magazine. Unbelievable. Anyway, Jeff Banks is here. Stay where you are. Stand by beds. We've got lots of other great stuff coming up throughout the course of the show here. Don't forget, we are doing some shows in Clacton. I'm going to ask Jeff about Clacton in a minute. Clacton, with the by-elections going on with Nigel Farage on Wednesday night, 7:00 p.m. Be there at the Royal Hotel. Similarly, Thursday morning. Nobody else will be doing this, by the way, because we're the only channel that can get away with it, because we're not governed by Ofcom rules and the stupid, by-election regulations. Let's get some news with Edward Hughes.
Good day. I'm Edward Hughes. Here is your roundup of the news in Burundi President Evariste Ndayishimiye, also current African Union chairperson, met with the Agriculture Ministry to set priorities for higher food production ahead of the new farming season. He recently received a Central African Economic Community, CEEAC, delegation and earlier held talks with AFCFTA leaders on advancing continental free trade. Locally, reports highlight rising crime concerns in Kitega, about 10 deaths in 10 days, ongoing shortages such as driver's licenses now promised to resume, and border issues linked to erosion. The government continues preparing for the 2027 elections while engaging the diaspora and regional diplomacy, including on the DRC situation. Later's Tigers.
This video is sponsored by Tally Money. I'm delighted to be joined in the studio by CEO and founder Cameron Parry. Cameron, very good morning to you. Nice to see you. Tell us what Tally Money is.
Well, at Tally Money, you get a savings account powered by gold. So we give you a sort code and account number in your name, just like a normal bank account, but instead of sitting in pounds, you now have milligrams of gold that we brand as tally.
Okay. And how does it actually work sort of day to day? Do you check the gold price every day? Do you need to do that? How does that?
We use the spot price, what's called the spot price in gold, and that updates every minute. It's a live price. We don't charge any premiums or FX margins on anything on that. You just go about your day as though it was any other mainstream foreign currency, except that you see all your transactions in real time and you're not getting charged international transaction fees and things like this.
Okay, so if I move some of my money into Tally, because I've just opened an account, what happens to it? And is it one of those things that I'll just be watching all day to go, ooh, look what's happening today?
You might do, but you've probably got better things to do with your time, to be honest, Mike. I don't actually think about the little movements in price, because I know over time that on average it goes up more than 12% per annum, and it has each year for the last 10 years. Bank savings products or current accounts just can't compete with that at all. But the main thing is my money's sitting there. It's my direct ownership of an asset. When I use my Talia card, in London to buy a cup of coffee, the merchant still gets pounds.
Yeah, okay. To find out more about Tally Money and for a special offer for viewers of the Mike Graham Show, simply scan the QR code or click the link in the description right here. Welcome back to the Mike Graham Show. It's coming up to 10 minutes past 8. It is, of course, Monday the 10th of August. We've got loads going on. Jeff Banks is here. Jeff, thank you very much for hanging around.
My pleasure.
News from Burundi.
News, yeah. What's going on with the news? I've been listening. I missed the first batch of news from Edward Hughes, but the news sounds a bit weird.
No, it's from Burundi.
Burundi.
He's got business interest out there.
Oh, really? So apparently Edward Hughes is now doing the news from Burundi today, which I have to say is better than our news.
It is.
Because they've got some good stuff happening in Burundi, unlike us, where we've got criminals being led out onto the streets so that they can run riot. We've got mad Muslim parades going on in Marble Arch where you can all pretend you live in Islamabad and beat your chest. We've heard from Kinsey Schofield that Harry might be coming back to try and get some money out of his old man, the King, to pay off the Daily Mail. And there's really good news. Has anybody got any good news? I'll tell you, I've got some good news for you.
What?
Ziggy's back, right?
Oh,
He's
okay.
back walking. I've sent you a picture. This is him out this morning, and his right paw, which was really, really bad yesterday, has now got better, so he can walk. So he's very happy. We couldn't take him out yesterday. Looks a bit dry down there, doesn't it?
It does. He hasn't got a sock on.
He's got no sock on, no, because his paw's recovered. It's a miraculous. Yeah, I know. Well, we're still trying to work out the harness scenario to get him in the car because he's a bit old and he won't go up a ramp, right? And he can't jump in anymore. So we've got this harness thing which we're going to try and lead him up a ramp.
How old is he?
He's 12.
12. Oh,
right,
yeah,
which
rocking
for a
on.
Labrador is sort of quite old. You've got a couple of Basset hounds. You
Two
just told
Basset
us.
hounds. They're about 5.
Right.
But unfortunately, they're the great escapers.
They're quite close to the ground, aren't they?
They're very close to the ground.
Yeah.
But they're sniffer dogs. So the minute they don't sit and loll around,
Right.
which I'd love them to. They're off and often hunting.
Right.
And they go for miles. So
Do they?
I kind of sit at home waiting for the phone to ring.
Wow.
And then suddenly I'll get a phone call from some obscure pub somewhere
Yeah.
to say, have you got 2 Basset hounds? Yes, I have actually. Well, they're in the bar and
Right.
they're being entertained by a bunch of young ladies.
Brilliant.
Could you come and get them?
Fantastic.
So I then turn up at the bar.
Right.
They're surrounded by these women that
Right.
are like oohing and cooing over
Right.
these 2 Basset hounds.
This is great.
And they look at me thinking, what do I want to go home for?
Right.
This is great.
This is fantastic. And do they always turn up together then? Do they always
They're always
go as
together.
a pack?
They never get separate.
Right.
But when I actually bowl up, they've always got this look. Should we go down the pub?
Right.
And it's like,
Brilliant. And do they bring things back sometimes?
no,
like
they don't. They just
occasional
disappear.
pheasant or something?
And then they look very apologetic when eventually I recover them.
Yeah, right.
And then they just lie around on the floor. But the minute the door is open,
Right, they're
and
gone.
they're off. They're gone.
That is great, isn't it? Brilliant.
Yeah.
What a lovely story.
Yeah.
Good morning, Mike. Please ask Jeff his thoughts on a Captain Black T-shirt collection for the High Street. This would be with reference to old Andy Burnham, because he looks a bit. Do you remember Captain Black from
Yeah.
the Captain Scarlet and the Mysterons? And that's what he looks like. We've been actually working on, I hate to bring this up, Pooch, because I know you've been very busy. We've been working on the Burnham Alert for a while, which at the moment is still under construction, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
But don't worry, we'll get it to you soon. Maybe we'll get it in time for Clacton.
Maybe.
You never know. I was going to ask you about Clacton. Do you know Clacton? Have you been down there at all?
I do know Clacton.
Go on then,
It's
tell us. Tell us about it.
My grandmother used to have a sweet shop in Clacton before the Second World War.
Right.
And then I used to go on holiday with my family to Valley Farm in Clacton.
Right.
And I have a very unfortunate memory of Clacton because my father, who was running for Member of Parliament for North Lewisham for the Labour Party,
Right.
had an affair with the Lady Mayoress of Lewisham and ran off with her.
Right.
And he
Was
actually...
Clacton the sort of destination point for that then?
We were going on holiday to Clacton, to
Right.
Valley Farm, and my mother and I turned up at Clacton Station.
Yeah.
To meet my father with the woman that he was about to run off with.
Ooh.
And that was the last time I saw him for about 17 years.
Really?
Yeah. So
Wow.
that's my fond
So what?
me-
So
fond
you went to
memory of
meet him
Clacton.
with a view to saying bye-bye or something? Was that the thing?
Yeah, he actually was there to say goodbye to my mother and to me. And
He brought the woman with him?
And he was running off with Gladys.
That's ballsy, isn't it?
Who was the Lady Mayoress of Lewisham.
Wow.
And it was a complete scandal. So that was my last memory of Clacton-on-Sea.
Yes.
Was the old man running off with Gladys.
Amazing.
So I don't necessarily have a fond memory
No,
of Clacton.
no.
But I think Nigel has actually put Clacton on the map.
I think so.
That
Well,
it's-
I'm looking forward to going down because I've never been there.
Yeah.
I've been to sort of that part of Essex once in a while, but not a lot. But I kind of quite like the look of it. It looks a bit sort of down at heel, slightly kind of romanticised probably by the years that it's been in decline. And it's got quite a nice looking beach. It's got a lovely looking seafront. But it's
Yeah.
a bit run down, like a lot of British kind of
Yeah,
seaside
absolutely.
resorts. But I'm quite looking forward to going because I like going to places I've never been before. But also, it's kind of become a bit of a weather vane, hasn't it, for British politics?
It used to be kind of like a holiday destination
Yeah.
for people from the East End
Right.
and from South East London. That Clacton
'Cause
on
it's
Sea
easy to get to,
it was
like
easy to
Southend,
get to.
right?
Yeah, get there by train. And there used to be quite a lot of caravan parks there.
Yes.
So, like back from the beach. It was kind of like London on Sea.
Right.
So I always remember it from the age of like 5, 6 and 7 as
Right.
being a great place to run riot
Yes.
as a kid.
Right.
And it's now a bit faded, like a lot of kind of British seaside
Yes.
towns.
Yeah.
But I actually think the nature of the people there are well-meaning, good people.
Yes, I think so.
And I think they're...
Well, it's no accident that Nigel Farage has picked Clacton as his kind of base because, I mean, obviously he's very much a sort of southeast boy anyway, isn't
Yeah.
he, from Kent and Kent and Sussex and all of that. And Essex is kind of his adopted county. But they seem to love him there. We're going to talk to Jamie McIver later on in the show, who's a councillor in Essex.
Yeah.
And Essex, I mean, I went to a party in Essex that was on the anniversary of him getting elected in this lovely little village, which was just very quintessentially English.
Yeah.
And a lot of that you don't see anymore, but you do
Well,
see in places like Essex.
I was married to an Essex girl.
Oh, were you? Okay.
Yeah, Sandy Shaw. Sandy came
You
from...
married to Sandy Shaw?
Sandy came from Dagenham.
Right.
So she worked at Ford's before she actually...
Sandy Shaw was the woman who used to sing barefoot, wasn't she?
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
on the street.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
Sandy...
don't remember you being married to Sandy Shaw.
Yeah, we were married
That's
for about 12 years.
that's
She's
brilliant.
a wonderful lady.
Yeah,
She's like...
amazing.
Still very friendly. So we see one another from time to time.
Right, okay.
But again, I always remember her mother and father had a kennel
Right.
in Ongar. So we used to go out there and visit them. So,
Yeah.
And Essex is really a wonderful county.
Yeah.
It's like, very often they've got this image of like Essex blokes and Essex
Yeah, yeah.
girls. Which
But
is
they've got so much
demeaning.
else, haven't they?
There's so much else going
Yeah.
on, and they're wonderful villages. And a lot of people from London have kind of like moved out
Yeah.
into Essex and got away from the craziness, which is like the East End.
Well, East End now is not like the East End then, is it? Let's face
It's
it.
like, I mean, I was in Whitechapel.
It's more like East Pakistan.
Yeah,
You know,
I thought
otherwise known as Bangladesh.
I thought I'd landed. So I got off at Whitechapel Station, and I used to hang out quite a lot there because when I started in business, a lot of the fabric
The
shops,
garment places, yeah.
yeah, and garment manufacturing was
Yeah.
all in the East End of London,
Yeah.
Whitechapel Road and down there. So I knew that area really well. Made a mistake, meant to get off at the station before, ended up coming out at Whitechapel, and I thought I'd landed in Dakar. I mean, it was just completely unrecognisable.
Well, even the station name is in Urdu, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which you kind of go, that's a bit weird. And people who are, on Sadiq Khan's side of it say, well, what's the problem? Well, the problem is that, it's Urdu, which is not a language that we speak in this country. You speak it in Pakistan, you speak
Or read it.
in India. Yeah, you can't decipher it. It's not like French, where you can just go, I can, figure that out. It's just mad. And we've got, we've got something actually. Should we play?
Yeah, let's have a look.
This is David
Come
Walliams
with me.
Come Fly With Me. Do you remember that show, Come Fly With Me, with David Walliams, which I think has now been removed from the BBC iPlayer because it's so offensive. 15 years ago, right, they were doing this. In Foot, the immigration officer. 15 years ago, that was funny, right? It's still funny now, but we're not allowed to show it.
But it's pathetic. It's like absolutely.
It is. Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, look at this. As I say, the jet bomb plotters, 3 in weeks. They can be on the game. You know, throw the dice, move 4 squares forward, pick a card. You could be out by Christmas,
right.
even though you were sentenced to life in prison in 2010. What do you fancy doing next for your next act? Oh, I think I'll blow up some planes. Oh, fine. Well, would you like a place near Heathrow? We'll make it easy for you.
That game would be a bestseller this Christmas.
Yeah.
It's like, whoever they were that made Monopoly, they should actually get on that.
Waddington.
Yeah, Waddington.
Well, but also the great subtlety of what he did was to say at the end, well, obviously they haven't got back to me. They must have something similar in development, right? It's just.
Mike, got to do the super chats.
Got to do super chats.
Insane. Jeff, check these
All right,
out.
check these out.
Yeah.
This one from David. Please get Anna Bolter on your show. Who's Anna Bolter? I'm always worried when I see names like that in case they're some kind of rude word.
No, it's not.
No? Is that a real person?
Yeah.
Should we get her on then?
Yeah.
Who is she?
Charlotte knows that.
Okay. £50 from Simon Kilford. Thank you very much, Simon. He keeps sending us money, Simon. It's amazing.
Another one from Simon Kilford.
Another one.
Oh no, Mick Rose, sorry.
No, this Mick Rose in euros. I think this is the guy that was asking if Kinsey was single.
No,
it's a good start.
And another one.
How about this? Another one from Simon. Blimey.
Hold on, and then one more.
One more.
Mick Rose, a oneer.
Mick Rose, morning Mike, Pooch, Charlotte, Elena, Scarlett, Luke and Jeff in Belgium, heading to Germany in my truck. Love to all.
Oh, he's a truckie.
He's a truck driver. Fantastic. I've got some
and
great...
Mick's got to come into the studio as well.
Yeah, well, we're trying to sort out people coming to the studio, haven't we? Because especially if you keep sending us all that money,
And
it's
Jeff,
got to be
one
done.
for you here. Well, there's a few. Can you see that? Whoops.
Go on.
Bridget, as in Bardot, she was always what? Escape. Yeah, that's right.
My neighbours, when I was a child, moved across the town with their basset hound, Bridget, as in Bardot. She was always escaping and waddling back to our road and sleeps in the middle of the quiet. That's great.
Yeah.
Very funny. They are great, aren't they? These
It was funny. I had a rescue basset called Poppy that came from a place in Newcastle.
Yeah.
And we took her in. There's like a basset association, and she'd been mistreated.
Right.
So somebody, will you take like Poppy in?
Yeah.
So Poppy came to our house, and she was a bit overweight.
Yeah.
Not the most beautiful basset that I'd ever seen, but a rescue dog.
Yeah, yeah.
And she was constantly escaping. And one day, she got out and ended up 65 miles north of where I live in Henley, in a straight line, heading towards Newcastle.
Wow.
And somebody picked her up, and she'd been burying her nose in, like, Christ knows what, fox poo, and stunk to high heaven.
Yeah.
And this woman actually came back with her in the car, and the car was reeking.
Right.
And Poppy was like...
Did she have a
tag on?
on?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Came back and never escaped again.
Wow.
But the amazing bit was she was heading home, 65 miles, cross country.
You do hear these stories,
line.
don't you? We used to do them when I was in the newspaper business. You'd get, every now and again, you'd get a story of the cat that left a year ago and suddenly got lost and then turns up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Same with dogs and things. It is extraordinary, isn't it? Got some great Substack messages coming in. Let's see, where should we start? Belated birthday greetings from Malaga, Mike, says Angela. Hope you had a wonderful birthday. Marie says on the Mike doesn't like surprises video, my birthday video. I loved watching this video and wanted to say my own happy birthday to you, Mike. You are my favourite presenter and I can't bear to miss any of your programmes. Look forward to hearing you in the morning. Lorna from Antigua sends her love. She sends her love to Ziggy.
Antigua?
She's in Antigua listening, and she's got a rescue
Amazing.
pup. She's got a rescue pup called Sushi, who's now 4 months old. She says she's been listening since day one. Tina, where are we? So, Barb says, "What an absolutely wonderful tribute, but you deserve it. Thank you from me too for always making me laugh through all the serious nonsense going on from the lockdowns until today." That's from Barb. Thank you very much indeed. Kim says, "Thank you so much for everything you do, making each day start with fun and laughter. You were so talented, which showed when you had to go on air after finding out Anne Widdecombe had died. That must have been so difficult." Well, we've got a picture of Anne Widdecombe over there. I don't know if you've noticed, which is nice.
Do you know, very sadly, the last time I was on your show, I was preceded by Anne.
Yes.
And I came on immediately after. And then that awful, terrible incident happened with her,
Right.
which was so sad.
Awful.
And it's like...
And now they're looking into something which we can't go into too much, but we can mention the possibility that there's some connection between an attack on Nigel Farage's property in London and her murder, which is extraordinary. And so, you know, let's hope they get to the bottom of that. And you know, you can understand why guys like Nigel feel a little bit, you know, isolated and in some kind of danger, you know?
Yeah, apparently there was some incendiary device put through his letterbox.
Yeah.
And it was discounted
And
at
the police
time.
didn't do anything.
And now, and the strange thing is, it seems to have just gone very quiet
Yeah.
on the investigations into exactly what the background is
Yeah.
with Anne.
I mean, I think a lot of that will be just the judicial process where
Yeah.
they'll be putting the evidence together before the next hearing, which I think is in September, you know.
But the whole peculiarity of the two different looks of people that are even under suspicion.
It's a strange one,
The whole
isn't it?
thing is very odd to me.
Yeah, it is
And it's
very
like-
odd. Another message, this one from Barry. It says, a long-standing follower of yours since COVID, etc. He says he's got a sister who lives in Bermuda. He lives in Scotland, and they both listen on a regular basis. So that's all good. Nice to hear. And somebody has actually done, you won't believe this, Pooch, somebody has done a Mike Graham quiz
No, really?
on
Nice.
on Substack, where they say you don't get any particular prizes. The first two people to answer all 10 correctly get serious bragging rights, but you're not allowed to Google. Let's see who remembers. And it's things like question like, before becoming a familiar voice on TalkSport and Talk Radio, which Scottish radio station did Mike Graham join in 2006?
Talk 107?
You're not supposed to give it away.
No, do it on me.
Oh, do it on you. Okay. All right. 2. What was the name of Mike's show on that station?
The Independent Republic. of
Correct.
Graham.
Mike was famously part of a broadcasting partnership with which other presenter
idea.
creating the two mics? Don't know. What was the name of the regular TalkSport programme that became home to the two mics?
Oh.
So, you know, I don't even know the answer to that one. I've no idea. In what year did Mike Graham... Why is this all about Mike Parry? And Mike Parry's final TalkSport radio show take place? Ooh. What was the full name of Mike's long-running solo programme that became strongly associated with his Home of Common Sense style? This is tough.
It's tough,
I don't think we
isn't
can... Even I can't answer it. Oh, well. Anyway.
Glory.
I think it might be Morning Glory, yeah. Anyway, great. Good stuff. It's always nice. Always nice to see.
I think we could do a bit of the birthday thing.
Shall we do a bit of that? All right.
Yeah.
This is the birthday video, lovingly put together by Charlotte, but contributed to, of course, by Pooch and everybody else here on the team.
Okay.
So have a look.
Good morning and welcome to the Mike Graham, not show, Mike Graham birthday tribute. Morning Mike, happy birthday. What a year. Well, 6 months, 7 months. What were you doing this time last year? I think you were with another station. This is now the place to be. Amazing job, Mike. Your audience is incredible. Your talent is supreme. We've come a long, long way and we are certainly enjoying the ride. What follows is a selection of clips of lots of your favourite people wishing you happy birthday. Happy birthday from me, happy birthday from the team.
Happy birthday, Mike. What a wonderful year we've had so far. So excited to be on this journey with you. Who knows what's to come, but it's going to be exciting. Have a wonderful day.
Happy birthday, Mike!
You're turning 6 today!
Not 6, he's turning 66.
You're turning 66 today!
Happy birthday to the coolest breakfast dude in town.
Mike Graham is smashing it all over the airwaves!
Clickety-click 66. Mike, have a terrific birthday after what's been an epic year. But here's a request, right? Not too much common sense on your birthday. Have a riot. We can get back to practicing some common sense next week. What you've done with the Mike Graham Show UK Live Online has been fantastic. I've been delighted to be a tiny little part of it. So have a wonderful birthday, my friend, and see you soon.
Hiya Mike, it's our Vans. Listen, I'm going to be completely upfront and honest with you because I am a very honest person, as you well know. I have been paid quite a bit of money to give you a birthday greeting. I make loads of money now doing speaking engagements and stuff. It's quite a lucrative business. So here's your birthday greetings. Another year older, another year wiser. Not in your case, obviously, because, well, we've got concrete evidence as to why that would not be possible. But you are older. It is that cannot be argued with. You are defo older, and as you're older, you need to maybe take it easy. Why don't you have an holiday, Mike? Go on holiday. Don't know where you could go. What, have you ever been to Cyprus, Mike? No, you probably haven't, because if you had, we would have heard all about it over and over again. But go somewhere. Maybe, why don't you go to Ibiza? Michael Gove went to Ibiza. So if Gove can go, then so can you. Have a think about that. I love it there. It's fantastic. Just don't get into the DJ booths, because that can get you into a whole load of trouble. I found that out the hard way. But I'm gonna open up a can now. Not for you, not to wish you an happy birthday or anything like that. Just because I'm thirsty. Actually, speaking of booze, I heard you do a show called Plonk of the Week. How come you not bothered yourself to invite me on? I know my plonk, Mike. I know my tenants from my Lamborghinis. And the fact that you haven't even bothered yourself to invite me on, I think is an absolute typical misogyny, isn't it, Mike? Typical misogyny. So, no, maybe I won't be wishing you an happy anything, but I will be suggesting that you get me on your show, because I could drink you under the table, Mike. In fact, I think we need to make that happen. But anyway, have a birthday, not an happy one. I don't really care. I don't wish the far right adjacent happy anythings. But have a birthday and think about my offer. Cheers.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mike. Happy birthday to you. Send us some cake, please. Oh yeah, save us birthday cake. Lots of love right here, Fred. Have a great day. Have a great day, Mike. Yeah. Cheers. Bye.
I want to.
That was so funny. That was Nigel Evans about to come up there, but we'll play some more of that a bit later on. But it was really lovingly put together, and so nice to see all these people that had very pleasant things to say about me. Because I think there are some people who are quite surprised that I'm so popular, because they just don't like me very much, and I'm like, well, sorry, can't help that.
Do you know what I can't believe is when I look at the screen and see all these people that are lobbing money in, like
I know,
50, 100
quid. I know, that's incredible, isn't it? It really is.
That just goes in the kitty, does it?
Just goes in the kitty because believe it or not, it doesn't. It's quite a few quid to run it the way we run it.
I can imagine.
So it all goes in. I take no interest in the money at all, because I leave it all to the guys that know how to do that. I just turn up and talk, and that's my speciality. And knock out the odd book.
But I'd rather pay this than actually pay the BBC.
Oh yeah, well I actually said at one point, I was thinking of doing a little sort of gimmicky thing where you go, we're going to issue the Mike Graham show licence, which will be cheaper than the BBC licence, it'll be more interesting, and we won't put you in prison if you don't pay for it either, because that's the problem with the BBC. I was watching a show, there's a really good show on TV, which is actually Channel 4, but it's not produced by Channel 4, called Say Nothing. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's all about the IRA, and it's all about that period of time in the 70s, which I remember very well, when they were kidnapping people. Jerry Adams was becoming this kind of, very powerful figure, but also being wooed by the American president and all of that. And it's a really great, it's from a book which is called the same thing, Say Nothing. And it's just all about the terrible kind of horrible things that went on. But that's been produced by an American company about Britain. And so we're not making that kind of thing. Instead, we've got the BBC making, Strictly and all this kind of rubbish that nobody wants to watch.
I don't watch live television anymore now, and I refuse to pay my BBC licence. I've been harassed by them, send all these threatening letters, which are sent out by this kind of company that have got the deal to collect the money.
Yeah, who are no doubt paid a fortune to do that, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're somewhere around over 104 million a year that they're actually paid to collect the TV licence fee.
Right.
The numbers are dropping. I mean, they're over 500,000 people
lost,
longer actually.
Well, the radio's came out the other day, and BBC Radio has lost something like 750,000 over the course of the last year. Listeners.
But it's like, again, I don't listen to that because I think, it's so biased. and the actual programs that they're making are so inconsequential now. I stopped watching it.
Well,
years ago.
I would say, because I will occasionally watch Laura Kunsberg's show, usually not live, but I'll catch up with it just because it's on a Sunday and it kind of sets me up for the week to see who's being interviewed and so whatever. But I mean, I can tell you absolutely without fear or favour that last week I did not watch anything on the BBC. Nothing. And in fact, I don't think I watched any regular television at all.
Yeah.
You know, because why would you?
So we'll soon be 24/7, Mike, by Christmas.
And we're working on a great plan. Pooch is putting together a plan now where we're going to have a full kind of programme of shows from 7 in the morning till 7 at night, hopefully by pretty much the middle of September, would you say? Yep. And then we're going to work on, weekend shows and, we've got the second studio through there. And, there's so much enthusiasm for it because people say to me all the time that when we had Mark Littlewood doing a football show during the World Cup, people were like, we don't even really like football, but we kept watching because it was entertaining and it wasn't woke and it's not BBC run and it's just not, because I was watching something, Graham Linehan at the weekend put out a tweet, I don't know if you saw it. We might find the clip for tomorrow. BBC have got some new quiz show out, which is being hosted by Alan Carr. Yeah. And it's a couple. It's a bit like the Mr. and Mrs. Yeah. There's usually a couple or two friends or something. And there's this bloke who's got his friend who's called Samantha, and Samantha's about 6'4" with a great big Adam's apple, wearing a really nice dress. And you're kind of going, what are they doing? Why are they trying to pull the wool over everybody's eyes? That's not Samantha, that's Sam, right? You see the dress and then they go, and who are you? I'm Samantha. And what are you? Oh, we're friends. We share a house together.
What do you do? I'm a hod carrier.
Yeah, right. I'm a bricklayer. But it's like, what do they think? People are stupid. I mean, I don't really care, right? I don't mind if you want to put somebody who's trans onto a show. But just, I don't know, it just seems it's like they're doing it deliberately. Yeah. And that's the reason they're on, right? It's not just a random, these people happen to be on together. He happens to be a bloke who's dressed as a woman. Okay, no big deal. Make fun of it then, Yeah. But don't sort of pretend it's not what you see.
No, it's funny, I've been in an industry for years.
Yeah.
Where virtually anything goes.
Right.
Whether you're gay, trans,
doesn't
whatever.
matter.
Doesn't matter.
Right.
What it was all about is, are you talented?
Yes.
Are you good at what you do? And if you're good at what you do, that's great.
Yeah.
And that's me. It's like...
Exactly.
But
don't give special treatment to people just because they happen to be, from another country, or they happen to have a different skin colour, or because they happen to have some, proclivity or other. You just don't do it.
Yeah, they're just trying to balance the scales all the time. It's funny, I used to run a thing called Fashion on the Field, which I used to go to a race course, build a big catwalk, and anybody could walk across the catwalk with a number to show off their outfit. And we judge literally day by day, and after, say, a 4-day meeting at York, there'd be an overall winner.
Okay.
And the prize was quite big. And it was sponsored by Debenhams. And one year, I had the chief executive come up to this event in York. And all these women were coming across, and suddenly these 4 blokes came on, were 6'2", with all talking like that, tattoos on the arms, with dresses on, and sort of high-heeled shoes. So I used to interview everybody and say, "Where did you get your outfit from?" And this guy came up, the chief executive in the front row said, "Oh, we always go to Debenhams. It's like, it's the best place to get a size 18 dress, and they're the only ones that do size 11 shoes."
Fantastic. That's brilliant, though. That's funny. Actually, talking of Debenhams, funnily enough, I was, there was a big to-do here a few weeks ago, the CPAC UK conference down at the O2 Intercontinental, and it was a sort of an attempt to put together a kind of a right-wing group of people similar to what they do in America to raise funds for a kind of a sort of make Britain great movement, that kind of thing. Anyway, there was a black tie dinner, right? Yeah. And I was haunting myself because I hadn't seen them for a long time, but I knew I've obviously got a dinner suit, and I'm like, I know I've got a pair of black patent leather shoes somewhere. I don't know where they are, and I've got boxes of shoes here and some over there. Anyway, I found them, right, and produced these black patent leather shoes out of one of the baskets. And inside was the name Jeff Banks. So I think I bought them at Debenhams, when I went and bought a dinner suit there a few years ago. Yeah. And I've still got it. And so,
it gets it everywhere.
It does, it's great. And I thought, blimey, there's his ties over there, his shoes here. It's fantastic.
I've got the Alan Carr clip.
Anyway, brilliant. What have you got?
The Alan Carr clip, if you want it.
What's that?
The comedy show. Charlotte's done it already.
Oh, sorry. Okay, go on then. Let's have a look.
Let's meet the teams.
I'm Samantha and this is Shane.
And we're friends from Coventry.
I'm Taryn, this is Raj, and we're sisters from London.
I'm Adam and this is Oliver.
We're father and son from Glasgow.
Welcome to the show. First up, it's Samantha and Shane. Hello.
Hello, Alan.
So how long have you been friends?
Oh, about 15 years, maybe.
And you own a house together?
Correct.
Now, Shane, you describe Samantha as a walking pop music encyclopedia. Is this true?
Absolutely. If I see an electro-pop girly, I will know exactly who it is.
Even like one-hit wonders, you're fine with them?
Oh, my goodness, any 90s bands that we've never heard of.
Okay,
It's great, isn't it?
Oh, that's pressure, isn't it? That's pressure. Shane, what are these animal...
I'm sorry, but just don't take the piss. You know, it's like we can see what's going on there.
Absolutely.
It's quite funny, actually. Yeah. But the way that Alan Carr's just like pretending that Samantha's just like, oh, so you live in a house together?
Yeah.
It's a bit like, I mean, we had David Walliams thing on before, you know, it's like that love you long time thing, isn't it? You know, I stay one more night, Mr. David, I stay one more night. And you just think, you know, that's exactly what this is. And they're going, how long have you had a house together for? I mean, I just have this vision of them going home and getting up to all sorts, but I don't know, probably shouldn't go there. Anyway, there we are. So that's the state of play in the world of culture for the moment. I suppose we should get on with some more serious conversations, but have we got news now?
Yeah.
Okay, news now. Jeff, listen, great to see you. Thank you very much indeed. And thank you so much for the beautiful ties. This is one of my favourites, actually.
Yeah, good.
There was a rumour Jeff's going to do a regular slot.
Oh yes, that's right. It's true, isn't it? You're doing a regular slot with us now, as of
every
this
other
week.
week, apparently.
Yeah,
if that's okay.
Every other week.
On screen.
Absolutely, banked or tanked. There you go. Because what we're going to have is when you come in, we're going to have Jeff Banks' weekly verdict on something you really like, and something you really don't like.
Okay.
So banked or tanked, I think.
Yeah.
We had another version of that, but we had to kill it because it was not. It was a bit rude. Anyway, should we get some news with Edward Hughes? Now, this is the news from where is it?
Burundi.
Burundi. Check it out.
Good day. I'm Edward Hughes. Here is your roundup of the news in Burundi President Evariste Ndayishimiye, also current African Union